Janavallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Brajanaranjana Yashodanandana Brajanaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Vishnupad Paramahamsa Ashtadra Shata Shri Shivara Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivajacharya Ashtadra Shata Shri Shivara His Divine Grace the Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Ki Jai Grantaraj srimadbhagavatam Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we're reading from srimadbhagavatam, Canto 4, entitled Creation of the Fourth Order, Chapter 2, Daksha curses Lord Shiva, and we're on text 28. Bhava Vrata Daraye Cha Ye Chatan Samanuvrataha Pashandinaste Bhavantu Satchastra Paripantinaha Bhavavrata Daraye Cha Ye Chatan Samanuvrataha Pashandinasta Bhavantu Satchastra Paripantanaha Bhavavrata Daraye Cha Ye Chantan Samanuvrataha Pashandinasta Te Bhavantu Satshastra Paripandinaha Bhavavrata taking a vow to satisfy Lord Shiva. Ye, who, cha, and. Ye, who, cha, and. Tan, such principles. Samunvrataha, following. Pashandinaha, atheist. Te, they. Bhavantu, let them become. Sat Shastra Paripantinaha, diverted from transcendental scriptural injunctions. Translation. One who takes a vow to satisfy Lord Shiva or who follows such principles will certainly become an atheist and be diverted from transcendental scriptural injunctions. This is Brigham Muni cursing back. Purport. It is sometimes seen that devotees of Lord Shiva imitate the characteristics of Lord Shiva. For example, Lord Shiva drank an ocean of poison, so some of the followers of Lord Shiva imitate him and try to take intoxicants like ganja, marijuana. Here the curse is that if someone follows such principles, he must become an infidel and turn against the principles of Vedic regulation. It is said that such devotees of Lord Shiva will be such chastra paripantanaha, which means opposed to the conclusion of shastra or scripture. This is confirmed in the Padma Purana also. Lord Shiva was ordered by the Supreme Personality of Godhead to preach the impersonal or Mayavad philosophy for a particular purpose. Just as Lord Buddha preached the philosophy of voidness for particular purposes mentioned in the Shastras. Sometimes it is necessary to preach a philosophical doctrine which is against the Vedic conclusion. In the Shiva Purana it is stated that Lord Shiva said to Parvati that in the Kali Yuga, in the body of a Brahmin, he would preach the Mayavad philosophy. Thus it is generally found that the worshippers of Lord Shiva are Mayavadi followers. Lord Shiva himself says, Mayavadam asat shastram. Asat shastra, as explained here, means the doctrine of Mayavad impersonalism, or becoming one with the Supreme. Brigham Muni cursed that persons who worship Lord Shiva Brigham Muni cursed that persons who worship Lord Shiva would become followers of this Mayavad, Asat Shastra, which attempts to establish that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is impersonal. Besides that, among the worshippers of Lord Shiva there is a section who live a devilish life. Srimadbhagavatam and Narada Pancharatra are authorized scriptures that are considered Sat Shastra, or scriptures which lead one to the path of God realization. The Sat Shastras are just the opposite. Let's read one more. Those who Nashtashocha mudadiyo jatabasmasti darinaha vishantu shivadakshiyam yatra daivam sarasavam. Those who vowed to worship Lord Shiva are so foolish that they imitate him by keeping long hair on their heads. When initiated into worship of Lord Shiva, they prefer to live on wine, flesh, and other such things. Purport. Indulging in wine and meat, keeping long hair on one's head, not bathing daily, and smoking ganja are some of the habits of the hippies. No, I'm just joking. Are some of the habits which are established by foolish creatures. I didn't say that. By foolish creatures who do not have regulated lives. By such behavior, one becomes devoid of transcendental knowledge. In the initiation into the Shiva mantra, there are mudrikakshaka, in which it is sometimes recommended that one make his sitting place on the vagina and thus desire nirvana, or dissolution of existence. In that process of worship, wine is needed, or sometimes, in place of wine, palm tree juice, which is converted into intoxicant. This is also offered according to Shiva Agama, a scripture on the method of worshipping Lord Shiva. Om Ganata Vedandasya, Gananjana Shalakaya, Chakashulam Nivatanya, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Mukam Karivachalam Pangam Mangayate Gurun Nipatanaham Bande, Shri Gurun Dinitananam Vancha, Kapalivishcha, Kapasim Nivevicha, Patitanam Pavanibyo, Vaishnavibyo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shivasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, at first, Srila Prabhupada, in the beginning of the first purport, he is talking about the followers of Lord Shiva and how they sometimes imitate Shiva in different ways. And then he gives the example that how Shiva drank poison, sometimes the followers of Shiva try to take intoxicants, like ganja and all that. So as we know that the leader of a particular movement, or Krishna, for example, Krishna or Srila Prabhupada, or different great personalities, they're able to do things that the followers actually shouldn't do. Of course, it's said that when Krishna's in Dwarka, it says that people should follow his example. They should rise early in the morning. They should bathe. They should do meditation like that. You know what Krishna was meditating on when he woke up in the morning? Himself. Of course, we shouldn't meditate on ourselves, but we should meditate on Krishna. And in this way, he's teaching the example. But of course, in his earlier life, he was dancing with the gopis, right? So in that part, we're not supposed to imitate that or try to imitate that. And of course, Prabhupada would bring up the point that, okay, somebody wants to imitate Krishna dancing with the gopis. All right, fine, but they should also be able to lift Govardhan Hill, right? Which they can't do. So once they could lift Govardhan Hill, then maybe they could dance with the gopis, but I don't think that's going to happen, being able to lift Govardhan Hill. So, in other words, we have to be honest and practical and reasonable in our lives, in that we don't imitate a great personality, because we're not, at least in my case, I'm not a great personality. So, but specifically when we get into this idea of imitation, then that's where we could have some problems, because it's actually based on a false ego trip. Sometimes disciples of particular gurus, they love their guru, obviously, right? They love whatever, to some degree. They love them or like them, or they want to serve them or something. But they may try to imitate their spiritual master, right? How he talks, how he walks, how he looks. And they may even speak in such a way that is actually above their realization. I mean, I was just thinking of Ayendra Prabhu in Vrindavan. He he dressed a certain way. And somehow or other he attracted a lot of followers. I mean, even now he's attracting devotees more and more, and he's a kirtan man and all that. But the way he dressed was quite unique or different. I think it was like a one piece, somehow or other he put it together. So one devotee, he showed up one day like that, dressed like Ayendra, and Ayendra Prabhu was there. So Ayendra Prabhu saw him, and he saw him dressed like himself, and he said, hey, more or less, he said, hey, like, I'm dressing the way I dress, but you dress the way you dress. In other words, don't imitate me. That's what he was saying. But that could go in so many. We could imitate people in so many different ways. So the point is that we have to be honest and practical and reasonable, and actually we have to be ourselves in the sense that not imitating somebody. Prabhupada had our Srila Prabhupada had a disciple, Sridhar Swami. And Sridhar Swami, he was said to be the jolly Swami, very happy person. So he had this very nice saying he would always say. He'd say, be yourself and make your own contribution. So what does that mean practically? It means that the way in which I serve Krishna, the way in which, for example, there's so many different types of persons. The way they serve Krishna will be differently, and therefore their contribution will be different. Some devotees will show their love and their appreciation and their sacrifice to Krishna by taking care of cows, for example. They dedicate their whole life to taking care of cows and chanting Hare Krishna. Not that they're just taking care of cows, but they're also chanting Hare Krishna, being devotees. Some devotees will dedicate their life to book distribution. Some devotees will dedicate their life to kirtan. Some devotees will dedicate their life to shlokas, editing Prabhupada books. Some devotees will dedicate their life to cooking, and we have these, right, the two devotees in Mayapur, the two twin brothers, right? They dedicate their life to serving deities. So, in this way, they're making their own contribution in their own way, which Krishna appreciates equally, by the way. It's not that Krishna appreciates, this guy is taking care of the cows, but I actually like the book distributor better. No, he's not thinking like that. So being ourselves, which means that, I have my personality, and everybody has their personalities, and it's individuality. We're not Mayavadis. When Srila Prabhupada went to Atlanta, Georgia, he was there, and all the Radha Damodar, the big Radha Damodar party was there. So there was, hundreds of brahmacharis, or however many there were, and then Narantara Prabhu was actually there. And Narantara comes down. And he asked Prabhupada the question, because the room was just packed full of, practically speaking, book distributors, preachers, brahmacharis, right? So Narantara Prabhu asked the question, he said, and he raised his hand, he said, so Prabhupada, I want to ask you, what pleases you the most, right? And all the devotees were very quiet. Right? And they're all waiting to hear something. And you can guess what they're waiting to hear, right? Yeah, distribute books. So everybody's quiet. And then Prabhupada says, what will please me the most is if you love Krishna. That's what he said. So it's not really the service, you could say, or the particular type of service. I mean, of course, there's statements there also that, preaching is very special and all that. But really, when it comes down to it, it's if a preacher's a great preacher, right, externally or to some degree, if they don't love Krishna, then what's the point? You know, so, like for example, in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela, I mean, there's so many devotees who are not, you could say, big preachers, like Kolavecha Sridhar, right? What was he doing? Yeah, selling banana leaves and chanting Hare Krishna and just being a devotee, right? And Mahaprabhu would come and harass him and try to get the price lower. Although it was like already really low, he would try to get lower. And during the Mahaprakash, when Lord Chaitanya was revealing his godhood, he was giving all the devotees benedictions, and then Sridhar, Kolavecha Sridhar, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked, "Oh, what would you like?" And Kolavecha Sridhar said that, "I would like that you, that this would always continue, that you come and harass me," because it was out of love. So, but the point is, he was not, some big preacher or something. He was a simple devotee, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu loved him very much. So, it's not really the service we're doing that will win Krishna, right, or win Krishna's heart, but it's actually the mood in which the service is being done. So somebody may, clean the bathrooms. I mean, it'd be really nice, actually, if we had somebody who joined and they just cleaned the bathroom for the next 30 years. Really good, They just cleaned the men's and women's bathroom thoroughly every week, and it was just sparkling clean. And then they chanted their rounds and whatever. They did a few other things, and that'd be glorious, actually. Be a wonderful service. Prabhupada would be very happy with them. Why? Because you go in and, bathrooms are clean and whatever. It's a nice thing. It's a preaching thing, actually. So it's not that necessarily that... in other words, that devotee could win Krishna's heart just as much as anybody else. That's the point. There is that devotee in Vrindavan. He was a Prabhupada disciple. I'm forgetting his name, but Prabhupada told him, he said, "Oh, never leave." And then he took it as Prabhupada saying, "Never leave the campus." And I actually did that. He never left the Krishna Balarama Mandir property. Yeah, I forgot exactly what Prabhupada said, but that's how he took it. Like, and he never left the Krishna Balarama Mandir property. I mean, he didn't go across the street to, buy. He didn't go down to Loy Bazaar. He didn't go to Govardhan Hill. He didn't go to Radhakund. He didn't go to any of the temples of the six Goswamis. He was just there, Krishna Balarama Mandir property. And for like 30 years or something, some long time, 35. And he would cook. I forgot, but he would cook. What is it? No. The twins are in Mayapur. Yeah, they left. They would go to this place and that place. But this devotee, I don't think so. This devotee was quite unique. He never left. And he would just be cooking. I think he'd cook Raj Bhog every day or something like that. But then at one point he became so old that he couldn't pick up the pots anymore. So devotees were trying to take away the service from him, "Oh, Prabhu, please stop." And he was kind of fighting them. And then eventually he agreed, okay. So then he was thinking, "Oh, what service can I do? Because now I'm old," and he's probably thinking, "I'm old and useless. What can I do?" And so he came up with this idea that, there's so many devotees and so many guests from everywhere, all over the world, from Delhi, this and that. He came with this idea that, I'll sit in the chair by the Charnamrita stand and I'll pass out Charnamrita to all the guests. That was his service, serving the... You did? Okay. Mm. Mm. Yeah, so that devotee, he was advanced, and he really, made his life successful, made it perfect, just by that. So yeah, we always have to keep that in mind, that, we're not after anything external. I mean, that's the idea, that we're not after anything external. Means that we cannot, capture Krishna by external means, that whatever. Becoming a manager, becoming a guru, becoming a sannyasi, or becoming a senior brahmachari, any of this stuff doesn't really capture Krishna's attention or heart, really. Deva Mridha Swami told me, he said that he was in Mayapur and he was chanting Hare Krishna. He was looking all blissful and everything, and chanting his rounds, walking around. And Shivaram Swami came up to him and said, "Hey Maharaj," he said, "you're looking too happy." I said, maybe you should become a GBC, So Maharaj told me that. And then I asked Maharaj, how long have you been in GBC? He said, I've been in GBC for 18 years now. He said, but Bajnarayan Swami's he's really got me. He said he's been like 27 years, or maybe it's 27 years plus 18, I don't know. It's a long time. So a lot of the times, the things that we may want in life actually turn out to be like sources of, it's not like absolute pain or suffering or anything like this, but in other words, it's difficult. Like someone say, I like to be the temple president, and then as the temple president, I always joke that right now we don't have a temple president, so everybody wants a temple president, because then they want someone to criticize, right? Oh, this guy, he's not. So, but with a temple president, or with any responsibility, I want to be a sannyasi, I want to be a guru or something. But with any, or I want to get married, with any responsibility, actually comes a lot of hardship. Like Deva Mridha also Swami said that sometimes brahmacharis, I think, the brahmachari life is just like very simple and not much recognition and this and that and so many things. And when I become a sannyasi, then I'll be really enjoying. I'll be traveling around and everybody will be respecting me. I'll be going to this festival, that festival, and having a good old time, right? But Deva Mridha Swami was saying that he said that wears off quite soon. He said it's like the honeymoon of sannyas life. It lasts for some time, but then it goes away. And then he said then you realize that, oh man, I've never been such a bigger servant in my whole life, because everybody asking you questions, giving you the problems, and Maharaj, please help me, and all these types of things and whatever goes on. And if someone tries to enjoy that position, means in a non-service way, then they just fall down. They don't last as sannyasis, because you have to be in the mood of service. So we don't imitate, and we don't, but we be ourselves, make our own contribution, and again, whether it's simple or complex, whatever that contribution is, the point is to make it. Yes, Vibhu Chaitanya. So and as Brigu's cursing here that yes, the followers of Lord Shiva, they'll be infected by this Mayavad philosophy, and as Prabhu points out, a lot of the times that's the case. This is a widespread disease worldwide, that people have like the idea of of becoming God. Sometimes devotees wonder why. I mean, you could say Krishna consciousness may not be exploding at certain locations for different reasons, but one of the reasons is that because we're kicking out all types of mundane ideas. I mean, sometimes you have these big auditoriums full of mega churches with the big preachers and all that. But what exactly are they preaching, right? And what exactly are they requiring of their followers to do or follow? Practically speaking, just, the B word, believe. Like I met some woman some weeks ago. We were at a book table and she came up to me and, she seemed kind of friendly, so I tried to give her a book or a flyer or something. And she said, I'm from Argentina, and I used to go to the temple down there. And I said, oh, nice. And then she told me, she said, you don't have to do all this stuff. She said, you don't have to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning and, take a cold shower, and you don't have to do all this stuff. She said, you just believe, and that's it. You don't have to do anything. And believe in Jesus. You don't have to do anything. And then she said, and by the way, it's not going to work going through Krishna or any other process, besides this process that I'm following. But it's so weird because it's like, okay, you do nothing, It's like what type of love does that show, that you do nothing for the person you love? The reason, anyways, it's really ridiculous because within practically every tradition, those who are intelligent and serious, they know that yes, you have to do certain things if you want to make advancement. So, so the reason why sometimes Krishna consciousness is not exploding is because it is not cheap, right? It is not cheap. That's why there's not a mega church full of people necessarily a lot of the times. And if we were saying everybody's God, then people would be very comfortable with that. Oh yeah, cool. Sign me up, right? So that's the thing. But nonetheless, it is the duty of us, whether we're, you could say, externally successful or not, to try to, propagate the message of Krishna consciousness and defeat the Mayavadis and Mayavad philosophy as much as possible. And the more one can live in the mode of goodness and try to communicate Krishna consciousness to the mode of goodness, the more people could rise higher in the modes, the better chance they have. Because the modes of passion and ignorance make one insane, actually. So, and nowadays in Kali Yuga, it's actually very difficult not to become insane. Because everything around us is urging us to be insane, which Lord Rishabdev gives the definition, right? Nunam pramata kurate vikarma yadindriya priti apranoti nasadamanye yata asanapi klesha asadeha. That certainly those individuals are mad who simply are engaged in sense gratification, and that's their main aim. Why? Because by that madness and just trying to enjoy their sense gratification, they get another material body, physical body, in which they have to suffer. So, factually, everybody's insane in the material world, more or less. And it's very hard for even devotees not to become insane. I mean, to keep one's sanity is actually a great blessing if we could do that, not lose it. So the way we could do that is to always strive to live in the mode of goodness and practice Krishna consciousness. And the more we could encourage people and the more we could find people who are in those higher modes, the better chance they have to engage in Krishna consciousness. I mean, these people here, right? Wine, meat, keeping long hair, not bathing regularly, smoking ganja, and what to speak of whatever Prabhupada's talking about here, which I do not have a clue of these different processes Prabhupada mentions here. And in the initiation to Shiva mantra, there are mudrik raksha, in which it is sometimes recommended that one make his sitting place on the vagina, and thus desire nirvana. Now, what exactly Prabhupada means by that, I'm not sure, because I don't know the intricacies of the Shiva mantras. Yeah. So, in that process, wine is needed, and then sometimes, in place of wine, palm tree juice, wine is converted into intoxicant. In other words, you just get into this really mental, crazy mode of ignorance. Yeah, mode of ignorance. And nowadays, I mean, I won't even repeat, what even these New Age people, these New Ager, big they go to all these festivals and all this stuff. I mean, yeah, I mean, so many. Of course, not all of them are like that, but within the realm, I mean, it's becoming more and more and more like grotesque and weird and sick, And we won't get into the details because I don't want to make anybody sick here. And also, you can't, I only want to say it in the temple room. So yeah, for people like that, it's very difficult, actually. It's very difficult. But Srila Prabhupada says in the purport of the Bhagavad Gita that Namam duskritinam mudha prapadyante naradama maya pratigyana asram bhavamashta, that these low-class individuals like Lord Nityananda and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is preached to, such as Jagan Madhe, Prabhupada says 99.99% of the population is like that. He said, but their hope is Nityananda Prabhu or the representatives of Nityananda Prabhu, in other words, devotees. And aside from that, Prabhupada doesn't give them any chance. Doesn't give them any chance. So, whether they're in the mode of ignorance, passion, or goodness, we have to preach, and in this way, hopefully, we could assist Prabhupada and followers in somehow or other helping these people and helping ourselves. I mean, we also have to be careful not to go off into the deep end. So, does anyone have any questions or comments? Yes, Zach. So tomorrow it's 30, text 30. There's no problem with reading Srimad Bhagavatam at Govardhan all day long. And there's no problem with chanting 64 rounds and Vrindavan Dham all day long and doing whatever devotional service there you can. There's no problem with any of that. But the problem is doing those things independently without the blessings of one's spiritual master. That's all. So when we're talking about this, when people talk about this, at least that's my understanding, and that there's no problem with those things, but it's just doing it independently without the blessings of one's spiritual master, bona fide spiritual master. If one has the blessings of their bona fide spiritual master, fine. If he's bona fide, if he's authorized, if he's your spiritual master, and he's intelligent, which he should be, then he'll guide you properly. So you may say, oh, Guru Maharaj, I want to go to Vrindavan, I want to live in Vrindavan, and I want to, open up a Govindas in Vrindavan, and then I want to chant 64. He may say, oh, great, wonderful, go for it. Or he may say, no, I don't think this is a good idea. You should stay and, you should stay working as a lawyer in Chicago, and you should continue your outreach programs. He may say that. I mean, there was this devotee, there's this devotee in London. I forgot his name. But he had this idea, he wanted to go to Vrindavan and just fully dedicate to the kirtan or whatever it was, just full on, and spend the rest of his days in Vrindavan. He was in his probably 40s or 50s, so we're talking about another 30, 40 years maybe. So then Sridhar Swami, which was his Shiksha Guru, means Prabhupada's disciple, he asked him, he said, all right, I understand you want to do that, but what about your contribution to Srila Prabhupada? Do you think Srila Prabhupada actually wants you to do that? Do you think that would be a proper contribution? And then this devotee thought about it for some time, and Sridhar Swami was encouraging him to stay in London and preach. And this was his guru, Shiksha Guru. He was taking his advice, and then he actually stayed in London, and he became, he helped so many people. He stayed in London, and he started this television show. And so many people all over the country would see this television show. So, yeah, the point is to take guidance from one's spiritual master, and then everything's good. Or else it's, you go to Vrindavan, or anybody goes to Vrindavan, you don't have the blessings of Guru and Sadhu, and what's the point? You're just going to go there and, be attracted to one of the thousands of Russian Madhujis, and and then the person will find themselves, working as a shoe salesman in Moscow, or whatever, or just living a mundane life in Vrindavan. Of course, Krishna usually kicks people out, but so the point is, by one's guru, we have to take guidance. Sometimes I say that, when I go to India, I was telling devotees, I'm not going to go to India next time. I think next time I'll just go to Russia, because there's so many Russian devotees. It's just, I might as well just go to Russia. It's amazing how many Russian devotees there are. So, all right. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Yeah. 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 Well, that was the blessings of Bhakti Siddhanta. Yeah. Yeah, unless someone's really advanced, they actually can't just do full on, bhajan, or for example, they just can't full on worship the deities unless they're really advanced. In other words, they require some preaching, meeting with people, discussing with people, or whatever, helping people, or else it just doesn't work. They don't make proper advancement.